Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Love and Lunch, your weekly 20-minute Facebook Live on love, life and intimacy. With me, Joanna Keeble, founder of BigBeautifulBoundaries.com, where you can check out my online boundaries course. If you're ready to make a change and you're serious about this, let's get it done. Come to Big Beautiful Boundaries or hit me up if you want to talk about private coaching. And over to Jo Cooper.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm Jo Cooper. I'm a dating, sex and relationship coach, and I help women to feel calm into their bodies and to find their truth and to have relationships based on truth, devotion and desire.
Tasty. And yeah, today we're thinking about, we were looking for the words for it, right? And so the closest we've got right now is consumption versus integration. Yeah, so it's kind of something I've been thinking about because I've put together a course and because I'm offering coaching, and Jo, you're offering coaching and running masterclass, right? I've been thinking about courses that I've taken and coaches I've signed up to, and where that's been useful, and like what's actually been useful in that relationship. And all right, so I was thinking about the money that I've spent on coaching products, if you like, right? Amazing coaching programs that changed my life, and coaching programs that cost a lot of money but really missed the mark for me, and also stuff that was really good but I just didn't show up for it. Right? Sometimes because it was free. So I got a scholarship to Brian Johnson's Optimal Living 101 course years ago. I think it was about 2010, 2011. And I was so like overjoyed. And I was like, this is brilliant. He's got so much stuff that I'm really into. And it was really useful for exactly where I was at the time. And then I slipped into that feeling of, oh, well, I've got those files now. I'll just keep them in that folder on my computer. And yeah, just that awareness that there's so many resources I've been given that I haven't shown up for, and the difference in impact to when I actually show up and get involved. So the consumption for me is taking and going, yes, I'll have that. Maybe you make a purchase and then you've got that tool, which has nothing to do with using that tool. Even if you actually show up and like watch the videos, right? And the difference between like actually integrating it into your life. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I've obviously got something to say because I'm clearing my throat. Yeah, this is such a juicy one. What do I want to say around this? Change, transformation, alchemy is never going to take part without our input, without our willingness, without us being able to surrender.
Right? You can't outsource that.
Because what I find is that often, like, I'm going to speak for myself actually, but if I buy something, whether it's a coaching package or whether it's a course, I'll always feel some resistance because it's change. I'll always feel the resistance. And for me, it's like, I know, because I've had many experiences like this, that there's always gold, there's always light, there's always love on the other side. I mean, there's love present always, right? And sometimes when things feel a bit itchy or scratchy, and I know there's this thing that I want to work through that wants to shift, it cannot feel very loving. And often the resistance for me is often like fear of the unknown.
Yeah, totally.
And it's the fear of the unknown that can hold us back. It can hold us back in life. We can keep ourselves safe and contained. and in a place where we are quite comfortable with no growth and no change. And for those people, because I'm not putting myself into that bracket because I'm doing quite a lot of stuff at the moment, like things will never change, and that's okay. Like people are here on earth to get into their own alignment, whatever that looks like for them. But I know for myself, like when, and especially my clients where I just took them through a course, it's like when they can feel it, when they can taste it. One lady even said to me, there's no way I can go back to where I was before. There is no way, because I've tasted this thing that feels so juicy, and it's like I'm actually getting to explore intimacy that I've never explored before. And for me, that is golden. You've just tapped into your own inner gold, that you can just start to relish, explore, have depth, have a relationship with. And it's that when you going to bring it back to a point, but when you really start to work, experience and feel that, and come into a place of surrender and neutrality, where you're not trying to put any borders or a form around it, and you're just saying, okay, I'm just going to be open to receive. I'm going to just be open to receive. And we have to leave the expectations at the door. We have to leave the expectations at the door, because what will happen is, and someone was commenting on a post yesterday that I put, and it got me to think about this, and she went, I've tried everything. I've tried therapy, I've tried this, I've tried that, and nothing works. And then she said to me one golden point, but when I came into love and self-acceptance, that's when it dropped. That's when the integration. And I actually feel like first and foremost, it comes down to a willingness within us to have, first of all, self-acceptance. Have self-acceptance, love and compassion, and the willingness to be held in this space. Because really, for me, the integration comes with, can I trust myself? And can I trust the person as well that I'm held by in this space, that I can be open to receive whatever's going to come up, or trust whatever's going to come up. And it's like, I never know what's going to come up in a coaching session. I can never predict. They're not predictable. It's like whatever needs to come up I trust will just come up. And that is like the beauty of it, is just having the thing, being able to, it's almost like when you're boiling lentils and you get that white fluffy stuff on top, and it's like just being willing to just not really know when it's going to come, but you just scoop it off and then you just deal with it.
You just deal with it.
You just deal with it.
Right.
You just like come into it, and you just, I think then, it's probably not a great analogy, but I think there's just something around being willing to go into all of the mess, being willing to just dive into the mess, and being okay with that, and trusting that we're held in so many ways, not just by my coach and myself, but actually much wider and bigger than that. And I think sometimes it can often, like, we can think so much on the 2D world that it can contain so many limitations within us with where we go in. I wanted to bring it back to the consumption, because I think it comes back to the point that I was making about this woman that left a comment about, oh, I've tried everything, right? I'm consuming. I just want to do. And I think actually for me, I mean, there was a couple of points that we raised before around, like, are we just coming in for the experience, or are we coming in because we actually want to let go? We want to let go of some shit, and maybe it'll be two things that will run in parallel. But I often find that they can, I don't know, just like any type of consumerism regarding anything out there at the moment, you know, games, shopping, whatever it is, we can just want, because it's often filling a void, it's often filling a place that we don't really want to look at. So if we put ourselves into these places, then we can almost say that we're doing the work.
It's interesting you say that, because that's what comes up when I hear I've tried everything. Because there's a way that you can get into a mindset where, like, it might be true and there's a level of truth to it, but you can also find yourself saying, God, I've just tried everything, and actually try everything, but not actually be doing things that feel resonant to you, as a way of ticking everything off the list, so you can say I've tried everything, to have your like excuse if you feel like you need an excuse to not make the change that maybe you don't actually want to make. On some level it might be conscious or subconscious. So I want to be respectful to people who genuinely feel like they've put themselves out there and they've given their all, whilst acknowledging that our egos love to do that. Our ego loves to play with us and like sign up for something and then find a reason why it's not right, or sign up for the wrong thing so that it's not right. I've done that myself. So I've done the let me be clear, because I don't want to make this about because I get tied up with money, right? That was always an issue for me. I was brought up super left wing, and so actually spending on myself or asking for money was an issue that I've had to work with a lot. And so so I want to be clear, there's times when I've made a huge investment on myself financially and it's absolutely paid off and it's been exactly what I wanted. And then there's times I've invested in myself financially and it's just been a complete waste. And the difference was, one was incredibly resonant and it was just like a yes that I felt in my whole body. And the other one, I was feeling scared and I was feeling like, oh, this guy seems to know what he's doing. It's a big name, and you know everything that he says. It's the marketing was more on the fear side, and more on the like, well, you'll need to know this, and you know I've got all this stuff, and if you do this, you can have it, and if you don't, then you can't. And so I made a fear-based decision, and I spent money from that place of feeling bad, that didn't actually have a connection to taking care of myself, having any faith in myself, or feeling connected in any way to my desire. I wasn't grounded, you know what I mean? And so that was a huge difference for me. I want to just point to some stuff you said. Comfortable. Now, I've done two things. One, I've taken massive steps in my personal development, and two, I've spent massive periods of my life when I'm just burritoed up in a duvet, eating snacks and watching telly and loving on that. And I think both of those have been an epic part of my growth. I've got so much respect for slow down and for trusting yourself, because that's what's been that's what's made all the difference for me, is really coming to a place where I trust that I know myself and I know I can take care of myself, and then making decisions about who to connect with and who is the right person for me to rely on, to look to for the skills I need. Like I hooked into a course creation coaching container to get my course baby out, and that was amazing. But before that, you better believe I saw like 20 coaches that I didn't sign up for, because I could feel it. It wasn't right for me. And for me, it's about having that amount of grounding to just be able to trust that I'm right. If it feels wrong for me, it's not the right thing for me. And that when I feel that desire come up, I can actually trust that desire and then show up for myself in that coaching relationship or on that course, so that I'm actually taking the goodness from the resources, not just taking the resources and putting them somewhere to read later, and actually making it into something. When you said comfortable, I spent most of my life feeling comfortable. It depends what you mean, you know. Sometimes comfortable is a lovely little dose of denial.
Perfect. I couldn't agree more. I mean, there's a couple of points that you said on before. I think sometimes, like for me, how I choose people, like choose people to work with, courses, coaching containers, whatever it is
Yeah.
actually an energetic resonance. And someone wrote a beautiful
Totally.
post actually around, like, I don't put people on a pedestal. I don't think of them as God. I just think it's like an energy thing for me. It's totally an energy frequency. It's like I feel the yes in my body, it's just a yes. I just will work out the how. I'll work out the how. And I know finances can sometimes like be part of that, but I honestly believe, like, for me in my own personal experience, when it's a yes, it's just a yes, and it just
Yeah.
happens, and things just shift and happen in that space as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the thing around, like, yeah, small dose of denial for comfortableness, I think it's parts for me that is almost like parts of, like, I don't know, like shadow stuff. It's like for me integrating like light and dark and being able to willing to look at the stuff that we don't really want to look at because it's too much, or it's going to open up so many things that it's actually just better to like close them. I mean, it's probably a much bigger discussion right now, but I think there's like a lot of stuff within that denial where people can be quite happy with just walking on with blinkers. I know I did for like most of my life, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this is something I've been thinking about a lot because the personal development world, because right, I get the advertising, right? I don't know if you get this, Jo, but as a coach, you get advertised to a lot.
I
do. From other coaches and coaches that help coaches, and it's quite intense. And a lot of the way that sales are traditionally done is a you know, there's a little very gentle shaming, very gentle pressure on, like, you could have this, or do you want that? Because that's bad and this is good. And there's a way we can make it like really overly binary. And where I've had that come up powerfully in the past is around people like not wanting to confront their trauma. And I just want to say, I get it. Like, and there's a way that we know, you know, your body knows what it's ready to deal with. So there's kind of a line where, like, on the one hand, it's okay if you're not ready to look at something. And I genuinely think some people know subconsciously that they need a bit more time. And, you know, that's not my client if they don't feel ready to you know, feel safe and come forward and start working on things. And then there's also people who know they've got shit to work out and they know they have a huge desire to do it, and they just need to know that they're putting themselves in a safe pair of hands. Yeah. So I think it's about being really honest with ourselves about what we really want, taking a moment to feel in and go, because there's always going to be resistance. With desire comes resistance, and so that can be a tricky one to feel into. And then trusting yourself that you're going to be safe with you, that you maintain your consent at every step of any process, and that you can keep yourself safe.
Beautiful. And I think that's the right thing, is like consent. Yeah.
I'm just letting that wash. Oh,
yeah,
man.
so juicy stuff. Like, before we close, I just want to check and see. Oh yeah, Vicky. Hi Vicky. Oh my god, I love her so much. Yeah, you're enjoying this. Beautiful. Anita.
Yay.
Beautiful. So many, oh my god, so many gorgeous women out there. I feel so loved up by just having, I don't know, just like this aura of like magical, empowering women just like around, you know. And I love the conversation that we have. I love the people that tune in. And interestingly, One of my clients, she watched the Love and Lunch where we were talking about ending with love. So powerful, because I need to mention this right here, right now. And she said, Jo, after I listened to that video, that was the moment when I could actually let go of this guy in my life with love. I was just like, oh my God, this work is so beautiful. The fact that we're just having this conversation and speaking about stuff, and that people are listening, taking action, but in a way that feels resonant, it feels in alignment, it feels like truth. I mean, that's the thing, we just speak and suddenly, bam, the truth.
Yeah, but take it and use it.
Definitely. I couldn't believe it when I was on a call with her this week. I was just like, oh my God, she's such a queen. I love her. And so, yeah, I really wanted to share that here because it just felt very significant.
Gorgeous. I felt that in my legs, like tingles in my thighs. That's really nice.
Oh my God, beaut. Anyway, my love, oh my God, let's wrap up. It has been beautiful to have you all here and be with us. Like, I'm absolutely loving the vibe, the community that's been built around this. It just feels really potent. So yeah, I'm going to drop my Facebook group in. I will be doing a masterclass soon. I don't know what I'm going to name it, but it's all about slaying the myths of what a feminine woman is, and actually coming into like your own truth and integrity and what that really looks like in the world. So I haven't got a name, but the feeling is there. I haven't decided whether I'm doing it this week or next week, so I still need to plug into that, but I'll leave my Facebook group at the end of here, so like, come in, keep connected. I'd love to have you in the group, whatever.
Awesome, thank you. So I am also going to drop my group below, and so I don't know, you said something about the equinox or something.
Yeah, I haven't replied to that.
I'm just feeling so fired up, and I'm getting so much done. I've accessed some really intense flow, been working on the inner critic through my course creation process, and that's all incorporated in the course. And yeah, I don't get to make a course or coach a client without receiving that gift myself, and I'm just like flying now. I've got this incredible flow and feeling really buzzed up, so I'm making some exciting changes to my website and getting ready to yeah, come out with a few new things. There's a workshop in the pipeline, and yeah, stay tuned, come on into the group. And let's have a conversation.
All righty. Well, so beautiful. If you catch the replay, #replay, we'd love to hear from you. Anything that's resonant, you've got any questions, just let us know. We'll be happy to answer those. So have a beautiful rest of the Tuesday. Sending love to you all, and speak to you soon next week.
Yeah.